the chat we have comments. Oh, man, look, it's Daniel. Daniel is joining. Thank you very much, Daniel. It's great to see you speaking English. Yes,
great.
I hope you. Thank you, Daniel. All right. So without further ado, let's get started with our session. And okay, I will share this part. All right. So hello and welcome to today's Comunidad AI contribution. In this session, you are going to learn about Azure Cognitive Services, which is a cloud technology that allows you to easily integrate artificial intelligence in your applications. With me is Carla Mamani, and I, Luis Beltrán, and we are delighted to participate in this event. Special events to Comunidad AI for organizing this great event. I hope that you have enjoyed the conference and sessions so far. So let's get started. I will introduce myself now, and Carlita will introduce herself a bit later in the presentation. I am Luis, Microsoft MVP in AI and Developer Technologies from Mexico. Currently, I am living in Czech Republic. I work as a lecturer at Tecnológico Nacional de Mexico in Celaya. Currently, I'm pursuing my PhD at Tomás Bate University in Zlín, Czech Republic. I am also teaching at this university, mostly about programming, developing mobile applications with Xamarin. Artificial intelligence, not yet, but hopefully soon. I enjoy talking about cloud computing with Azure, mobile applications development with Xamarin and .NET MAUI in next year, sorry. And of course, artificial intelligence with deep neural networks. In general, I really love talking about .NET and everything that it offers. Cloud, mobile, web. Yes, although web I don't like that much, but I like backend. Okay, and yeah, in general, .NET is awesome. You can find me on Twitter as @darkizlim, and here you also have my email in case you want to reach out and talk about any of these topics. As I said, my friend Carly will introduce herself a bit later. So currently, we live in a world where everyone is connected through internet. It's not thousands, but millions of data are being generated every single minute. We use social networks, WhatsApp, a lot of channels where text, media is being generated and stored in servers. Later, this information is used by the big companies. They analyze it, process it to offer better services later, and also probably for their own good, because in the end they are companies. But okay, that's different story. So a relevant amount of total information is created by the human-machine interaction, such as you saw in the previous presentation, when we talk or chat with a conversational bot or a digital assistant. Even when we interact with a website like Amazon or online store, data is being generated about our behavior. If we search for a product, if we click on a specific product, yeah. In fact, artificial intelligence makes it makes life easier for us, for humans. We can talk, we can give a comment to Smart TV, we can even talk as if we were with a friend. You can just say, change the channel, or I would like to watch some soccer match, a specific soccer match. So we can find our favorite program by using natural language, right? We don't need even a remote control. The remote control was created a lot of years ago, and it was helpful because now from our bed, for example, we can just click, search the channel, and that's it. And this made life easier because now people, and also lazy, yeah, I might say, because now people don't have to go to the in front of the TV and manually change the channel. No, you can use remote control. But now we can use our voice, and that's even easier and also lazier, maybe. Talking to a machine using natural language and make it to understand our intentions or what we want is one of the applications of artificial intelligence and machine learning. The machine learning model that is integrated in the software of this smart TV, or maybe it is connected to a service, uses natural language processing in order to recognize words, translate them into text that will be analyzed to detect what we want, and also some context, such as date, time, or place. As I said, we don't need to use special voice commands to interact with this machine. It feels like talking to a friend. And we actually live surrounded by applications of artificial intelligence and machine learning. For example, we can interact with digital screens that can track our sight and make decisions based on our eyes movement. Or we can simply touch one screen. We use our fingers and some selection will be made. As we mentioned earlier, there is also the conversational bot interaction. We can chat with this software and get information, some assistance in our requests, or make things happen, such as a flight reservation, a question answer from a knowledge base. Prashant demonstrated that in the previous presentation. And yeah, there is also the online store example. Usually, when we visit this store, as I said, something like Amazon or Mercado Libre, we get a customized appearance, product recommendations that most probably we will be interested in. This also brings effective benefits to the company because these products that appear on the screen on the website are not randomly selected, but chosen from either our previous shopping story or what our friends have bought in the past. If you remember, sometimes these stores want you to provide your data to connect your Facebook profile. They might claim, okay, this will simplify things for you. You will just click. If you are logging in Facebook, you don't need to log in here. Or you don't have to remember username and password. But in the end, you agree also to give your data to find what other friends also are part of this store. So they can analyze like or build relationships. If a friend, or maybe they identify, okay, this is a really close friend of Luis. If they buy an iPad, for example, probably Luis is also interested in buying an iPad or something similar. So yes, AI and machine learning can extract relevant information from our relationships with other people. And AI is not the future, it's the present. We live in an internet era where there is a huge explosion of data every single minute. As we said earlier, this data is generated by mobile phones and applications such as WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, and others. The Internet of Things, nanotechnology, drones, blockchain, these are technologies which we live with. They are current trends. and they draw a lot of attention by companies. They can also integrate data into mixed reality applications, so they can add virtual elements to physical locations. There are also some other interesting areas that are currently also trends or in the near future, such as genetic engineering, which is the process of recombining DNA or RNA to alter the genetic makeup of organisms. And this was possible thanks to lots of information stored from the past. I think that the future is bright. In a few months or years, we will see emerging and promising technologies around us. Maybe flying cars that we have seen in movies or smart cities will become a reality too. So the key, and this is one of the goals of this event, is to learn about artificial intelligence and use it to help us make decisions and build better worlds. So what do we need to analyze data? Here you can see an example of a deep neural network called convolutional neural network, which recognizes handwritten digits. Luis Fernando yesterday talked us about this. In order to identify them, the network must be trained with data. That is, we can provide thousands of pictures of every digit in different forms, different shapes, and add a label that says what digit is this picture. So for example, we will say, okay, picture number or picture A, it's a 2. Right? This is called supervised learning because we are providing data with these tags or labels. Then this image is processed, converted into matrix representation, because in the end you know that a picture is an array of bytes that represent color in hexadecimal format. And we perform some statistical operations on mathematics, such as matrix multiplication, which in terms of deep learning means that we apply a filter or convolution. The purpose is to detect low-level features, such as borders, edges, lines. So where is the relevant data in all these pictures? As we continue to apply these filters, we will be able to detect high-level features such as shapes, circles, and other patterns that distinguish every digit from another. Because of course, every digit is different. For a minute, make a pause. Instead of numbers, now think about other type of pictures such as dogs, cats, and so on. In the end, the neural network will find a pattern. What are common shapes, common numbers, common combinations encountered in dog pictures, okay, or in cat pictures. So yeah, you can see actually that there are several matrices multiplications, and the result of each set of operation is a convolutional layer. In between these layers, for these layers, we also apply a small filter known as pooling, max pooling, average pooling. The objective is to reduce the number of dimensions so that these matrices will be smaller every time. At the end, we will connect this to a fully connected neural network that we will use to detect the right output, the right class. After this process, it will learn that the input is a 2. And well, as you can see, this might feel like it is complicated. And yeah, artificial intelligence is not easy. But if we needed to create smart solutions for better future, is there any way to accelerate the AI learning or implementation? Well, the answer for that question is yes, fortunately. Cloud leaders such as Microsoft provide workspaces to either create our own machine learning models with enough computational resources. You saw that in Henk and Alpa's presentations. They created or they used Azure Machine Learning Studio for developing, for building machine learning experiments. Henk explained with code by using PyTorch script. And Alpa used the designer for building experiments. And the other way that we can use is actually use AI services already trained by Microsoft that can help us to integrate smart capabilities in our applications, even if we don't have any previous AI background or experience. And now, my colleague Carla will introduce herself and we talk about Azure Cognitive Services. So, back to you, Carla.
Yes, thank you, Luis. Hi, everyone. My name is Carla Vanesa Chávez. I am a student in computer science in University Mayor de San Andres. Currently, I belong and programmed Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors in Milestone Gold. Also, I leader of community student ambassador La Paz. Okay, Liz, the next slide, please. Okay, Azure Com Services. These are the APIs and SDKs and services available that am to help developer to create intelligence applications with you the use of direct artificial intelligence or AI, and with you to need for data science skills and knowledge. Azure Com Service enable developers to easy add cognitive features into their APIs. Well, Azure Com Service enable applications to see, hear, speak, understand, and even begin to reason. The Azure Cognitive Service portfolio can be divided into four pillars. Four pillars and visions, speech, language, and decisions. Okay, the next, well, why Microsoft Com Services? Easy, because we can simple send a HTTP request to prepare pre-trainer models and services that that have been created thanks to innovate rich researchers in AI. In some cases, we can't even create customizable AI that adjusts to your need. Okay, all we do need to use Azure Com Service is to get a key and use in your app request. Okay, the second, flexible. We can't make the same APIs, cat codes in iOS, Android, and Windows. Also, we can't integrate into the language and platform of your choice. Finally, this platform has been tested by Microsoft itself and their partners. You can find great tutorials and Microsoft Docs and Microsoft Learn. Also, the team is very activity at Star Overflow and GitHub in case they are question and issues about com service. Okay, the next slide. How do they work? You prepare your data. If, for example, in this case, you see some text in Spanish, you include it in your HTTP request along with and case to authorize the request. Then you send into endpoint and you will get a response as JSON string that you can processing in your application to extract the results and present in your users. Okay, the next slide or the next services is speech. Let's see your categories of com service. The first, we have a speech. It's a set of services that allow you can to convert their speech to text and the text to natural sounding speech. Moreover, the speech translator capability allows you to perform real-time speech translator easy integration via services. Finally, we have a speaker recognizer. It is an AP was used in the determiner and the identifier of your unknown speaker. The input audio of the knowledge speaker it matches against in a graph of select speakers, and if a match is found, the identity of the speaker is returned. Well, the slide there is a screenshot of a speech studio, a portal where you can test the speech services in different ways. It is enabled at speech.microsoft.com. You can use your microphone to talk, and whatever you say will be detected. Okay, and the second graph is the Quan Maker. Well, the Quan Maker services. Okay. This belong al graph the com service language. It is a set of APIs that allowed application to process natural language with precompiler scripts, evaluate sentimentals, and to learn to recognize what the user want. It is the base of conversations, but particularly in K&A Maker and the LUI services are useful for that. Finally, yes, as we can see in the example, these services identify the language, the key phrases on the text, the sentimentals within the text, such as whether it is positive or negative, maybe neutral. Some case phrases are also detected. Luis, the switch.
Yes. Okay, so the third category, thank you, Carlita, for the great explanation of the first two categories. So the third one is vision. This enables our applications to see and describe what is happening in a picture or a video. The computer vision API is able to analyze the content in multimedia files, such as images or video. And we can get a description that represents and scene what objects are recognized in a photo, or even identify celebrities, such as actors, famous people. Perhaps one day it will recognize us, so it means that we are famous. Face API detects and identifies specific people and facial attributes, such as emotion, hair, if the person is wearing glasses. Regarding the emotion, well, the person is happy, sad, angry. It can include, I think, 8 emotions in total. And it can also estimate the age. Finally, custom vision allows us to easily create a custom image recognition or object detection model from our own images to fit our business needs. And this is a custom vision example. You can see on the left that we provide pictures of different tools, such as drills, hammers, and pillars. Then, with this green button, we can train a model. And after that, we can test it with a new image. And it will be able to recognize what object is present in the photo. Yesterday, Daniel actually explained this in his presentation. And it was able to recognize species or animals and also plastic bags that, of course, damage the environment. Well, at the end, when we have this model deployed, we can integrate the custom model in any other application, such as mobile, web, desktop applications that we develop. We can send HTTP requests to an endpoint that is generated for us, or we can actually export the model in different formats, such as TensorFlow, TensorFlow Lite for mobile, and if I remember correctly, also Onyx. Yes, also Onyx. The final category is decision, which supports actions based on data analysis. Sometimes we want to detect outliers that might be present in our data, such as variation in temperature or a fraud bank operation. With Anomaly Detector API, we can identify these kind of issues or even predict them before they occur. Content Moderator detects potentially offensive or unwanted content, such as racist pictures, adult content that should not be allowed in an application. And finally, Personalizer allows us to create rich experiences for different users. So we can use it, for example, to present relevant products to our customers, saving them some time and increasing the revenue probability of our company, since customers will get their products they are interested in very easily. By the way, well, yeah, Personalizer is now part of Applied AI, but still makes use of decision. You can see Personalizer example in this picture. Depending on the day, weather, or time, a relevant news is presented to the user. Then this model is smarter every time because it can learn if the user actually interacts with the information or not. So the next news that will be shown to the customer will continue to be relevant. And we have seen this, for example, in Facebook, in social networks. When we open the application, on top, we will see posts from people that we mostly interact with, which probably means our good friends, or maybe a friend who shares a lot of memes and important news. But so that counts as an interaction if we give a reaction, if we make a comment. If we just pass, if we don't take too much time and we just scroll and see the next post, that is also useful information for the model because it means that that recommendation was not effective. So next time we will be presented, or that, let's say, publications from that friend will not occur with the same probability because probably we are not interested in that friend or in their publications. So we said at the beginning and in the title of this talk that all you needed to add AI in your applications is 3 steps. And here they are. The first one is to go to Azure portal and create a cognitive service. There are 2 ways. You can either select from AI plus machine learning category, right, and select the resource that you are interested in, or you can go to marketplace and select again. You can also search, of course, for cognitive services. But here you have 2 choices. You can select the general cognitive services resource or an specific cognitive service, such as Personalizer, Translator, Custom Vision, and so on. For this one, we are going to use cognitive services. So the difference is that the keys from this general cognitive services resource can be used for several services at once, including vision, language, search, and speech. So we'll just fill in the information with the required data, such as subscription, resource group, region, and of course the name and pricing tier. By the way, you can get a free usage of this. There is a free tier, so you don't have to pay anything. In the specific resources, for the general cognitive services, if I remember correctly, there is a standard. But okay, if you are just testing, let's say text analytics, choose that one, look it for that one in the marketplace, and select the free tier. Then you accept the terms and hit on create, this button, right? Review plus create, if everything is okay. The resource will be created after a few minutes. So the second step is access this resource that was just created. You will enter a dashboard with several options. You can choose keys and endpoint and copy both the primary key and the endpoint. The location is also good if you copy it, because in sometimes the SDK or in some codes, they use location rather than endpoint. So, okay, copy this information, paste them in Notepad or in a safe place. Try not to share this to other people, otherwise they will also use this without any Azure account, so be careful. Right? And the last step is to use this information in your code. Of course, depending on the technology, programming language, and cognitive services, this might take several lines of code, but in the end, it's less code than having to write yourself a neural network or something that recognizes, let's say, dogs in a photo. In this example, and I will demonstrate this later at the end of the presentation, you see a Node.js application. On the left, we can add the Azure AI Text Analytics library in the dependencies or package JSON dependencies. Then in our code, we can create a text analytics client that uses the endpoint. This is the one. And the keys for authentication of every single operation. After that, we can call the specific methods such as analyze sentiment, which is here, or detect language, which take an array of strings. It means our data, such as a message. I am happy to be at Comunidad AI. That's the message. All right. So we send the request to Azure endpoints. We get the result. And the result comes in JSON format. We can use it in our application. So, well, in this example, for this AI part, only few lines of code are needed. And now Carlita will demonstrate a powerful scenario of cognitive services that involve several technologies. So, Carlita, are you ready?
Thank you, Luis. Yes, let's start. Let's get started. We will be used to come service. These are QuantMaker and speech. Also, we will use the Azure Cognitive Services. Okay, the next, the first, let's choose a knowledge base. This can be some FAQ, some questions and answers. We will click on the create a knowledge base menu. In step 1, we are going to create a new service. Click on the button create on the QuantMaker services and enter the necessary data request by the new services in Azure. Okay, the next step 2, we return to the QuantMaker portal in the blue box. Yes. Let's select the tenant on which we are working. In the green box, let's start in the Azure subscriptions. We are work on. In the yellow box, let's select the new services we create, and finally, let's select the language. Okay, the next slide is step 3. Let's name it, for example, MLSA program KB. Okay. The next, is step 4. Here we will add your links or documents contain your question and answer pairs. Finally, click on the button and create your KB. Okay, the next step is step 6. Here we will be enabled to edit and train your knowledge base, which contains the question and answer recognizer from your documentation or websites. When this producer is done, we click on the button marked with yellow. Finally, click on publish. Okay. In the next step is step 7. Congratulations, we have successfully create a knowledge base. Now the last process to create the boot. We will this with Azure Boot Services. Current line, click on the button create boot. Okay. The next slide, on-site the Azure portal. Here we complement the missing data. Finally, we click on the button create. Once the resource is created, we will go to the channels and we will get the secret keys to put on the yours GS code. Step 1, finally, we will create the last community services. This is a speech. Also, we complement all the missing data. And finally, the step 10, we get your case and connector points from the speech services. That's all, Luis, and we switch.
Now you still explain this because this is part of your debut.
Yes.
Yeah, this is where you add the library. So that's the yellow part. And the second, we add the key of the cognitive services that you can see here. Okay. And we also add the key of the channel. This is the key secret that you get from direct line. And that's it. Now let's see the demonstration. Wanna share screen?
No, I don't. Finally, the session, maybe.
Okay, well. So in the meantime, I will proceed to explain the second demo, which is text analytics. So let me switch here to my other computer. So at the beginning, I mentioned about the text analytics when I explained the 3 steps. So here you have the code. I have 2 examples. One is about text. The second one is about computer vision. So just let me check the mouse. Okay, yeah, it is here. And let me switch to this other terminal. Yeah, perfect. So in the text example, which is here, you can see the node modules. We have Azure, right? We have, actually, let's go to package JSON. So we have the Azure AI Text Analytics package that I mentioned earlier. I am using this specific version, 5.1 beta 5. Then I can add this functionality, not in this one, sorry, in the other one, in text analytics. Yeah. So here I have the key and endpoint that I got from Azure, from the Azure portal. And with that, I build or create the client instance from text analytics client. I provide the credentials. And I am creating 2 functions. Length detect, which is short or wrapper for language detection. And from the client, I am using the detect language. And I am sending this language array, which contains just the message, some string that I am providing from the some text. You will see in a second. So for that, I will get also an array of JSON content. And I will just print it both in console, and also I will return it. I will include it in my HTML code. The same goes for sentiment analysis. So I will post a message, and I can get the result will be, is it in English, Spanish, and so. And okay, yeah, that's it. The rest is just HTML, but that's not complicated. So let's run this example. Okay, so this application is listening on port 3000. And okay, just in a second. Okay, so I have analyzed text. As you can see, I am not very good with HTML. So let's just click and let's enter a message. For example, I enjoy Comunidad AI event. And even the face is, just a second. Yeah, this, even that one counts. Okay, and here you can see some results. The language, which was detected, is English, and the sentiment is positive. If you can see also, there is much more information that was retrieved. It was this JSON, right? We get the name, also some ISO codes, and the confidence score 1. Sometimes some messages will return more than one language, because we can share some words or vocabulary. And the second part is the sentiment. In this case, the service returns the name of the sentiment and also the score for the 3 categories: positive, negative, neutral. Let's try another example, such as hello, or yeah, okay, hello, just hello, right? So as you can see, this one is neutral. It is not positive, negative, right? And in this case, well, we get low score for positive, low score for negative, right? But let's try something interesting. What if I add this, right? And okay, well, Okay. Well, this was not enough to increase the negative score, right? In the end, it's not negative. It's just sad, maybe. But as you can see, it decreased the positive one. It is still neutral, right? This is not bad at all. I mean, sad not necessarily means bad, right? Okay, just wondering what happens if I do something like this, right? Which sometimes can be interpreted as negative. Okay, no, not at all. I was just kidding. Okay, so maybe some final example. Me gusta este tema. Okay, let's see. And okay, this one is detected English. Yeah, I should use some other words. Yeah, so this was not a really good example, but it was also detected as positive. But yeah, so sometimes that might happen. So we need more context, or so probably the text should be later, bigger. Just a second. And let me share the second example, which is vision. Just a second. So in the second example, I will just cancel this and okay, for vision, I have this computer vision. Okay, yeah. Also in my package, I have another one, which is computer vision, custom vision prediction, and face. So these are the libraries. And we have not custom vision, computer vision. Again, I added the key, the endpoint. I now use computer vision client. And I am going to provide some picture from my computer. And then we will just print the information. In this case, we are calling the describe image in a stream. So you will get a description, what is happening in this photo that we are going to send, as well as some other information, such as confidence, captions, and even by calling the analyze image, if there is a face, if there is a person detected, or some brand, or maybe a famous person. So for this, I have several examples. Okay, so I will now run this one, same port. So let's go for analyze images. And I will show different examples. For example, this one, okay? This event is sponsored by Coke. No, just kidding. We wish. Okay, so we analyze and look, description, a bottle of soda with confidence level, and actually it detected text, right? And it was there is also a brand, which is Coke or Coca-Cola. If I click on analyze other image, now let's go for second one, which is okay. Well, yeah, let's try that one. And I believe we finished from Facebook because of the 8-hour limit, but okay. So description, a road in the woods, confidence, and there are some tags: tree, forest, plant, traveling, highway, and so. Just final one. So you can see the power of this. El bicho. Siu. I wish he has bad luck because, yeah, Italy will face Portugal most probably next year. So, well, here, description. Cristiano Ronaldo in a black shirt with confidence level, tags, faces, male. Yeah, so you can see that even this person was detected. All right, so I think with that we can finish. Well, I already explained this part. And to conclude, AI is really important nowadays because it will help us to build the future. Mixed reality, quantum computing, blockchain, all are AI and ML applications, so let's be part of that future. If you want to learn more, visit microsoft.com/cognitive and check the documentation, tutorials, and more. You can also go to Microsoft Learn and find interesting learning paths which combine theory and practice. You don't even need an Azure subscription to test the Cognitive Services applications. So we highly recommend you to visit the Learn portal. You just choose one and you will be provided with a virtual machine, virtual environment. There you will be able to test the Cognitive Services power. And with that, we finished this presentation. Thank you, Carlita. Thank you, everyone who attended this presentation. Here you have our contact details in case you want to learn more about cognitive services. Please, if there is any question, put them in the chat. We will do our best to try to answer them. And enjoy the rest of the event and see you next time. Okay.
Yes.
So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Luis, Carly.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. No problem.
Very good question.
Any question? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Liz.
Questions? No, not really. I don't see any questions on the chat, but you know, people will see this on demand probably.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. So yeah, in a few minutes we can deploy these services. It's quite easy. It can be proof of concept, something let's say really quick to see the power of AI, ML, and this can be the starting point to build something custom later or to customize applications. So
yeah,
I think we can.
So for closing the session,
yeah,
this was the session.
Thank you. Okay, there is comment from Daniel. Congrats.
You are on fire. 3 sessions in 2 days.
Yeah, well, it was only 2 actually. The Docker one and this one. But it's always fun to be here and to organize. And
yeah, I always think that learning something, the best way to learn something is to actually teach it. So
yes.
if you explain it and they understand, that means you learned.
Exactly. I hope that people has learned in this. Yeah, you learn twice or even thrice because you prepare it, you speak it, and then when you talk to people, maybe they give you some idea or something that you didn't think about. Yes.
Yeah, and then you have to run the demos 20 times.
Yes, that is true. We have to run it several times, and then they work before, but live, Murphy appears and we are never 100% with the demo. Exactly. Carlita, do you want to give some surprise, the thing that we talked today, or maybe we wait until December? Do you remember or not remember? December? Okay, because we have some surprise. We are preparing something, so follow us and we will share this news in 5 days. Okay,
great.
Thank you, Carlita, and see you later.
Okay, again, thank you very much. Until next time.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye, Carly.
Bye.